Hey, so everybody's doing their year in review. I have insomnia, so I'm awake. So why not do it now? I'm gonna do a little different than a year because basically my year's been wrapped up with medical issues. So I'm just gonna do a sort of rundown on that. So a year and a half ago at Basco's, I woke up and I couldn't feel my arms. I had no sensation in my arms, and I couldn't walk. It was really, really terrifying. Um, yeah, just terrifying, and a lot of chaos ensued, and I ended up suddenly alone and having to deal with all of this. So, yeah, it was really scary. So, I was lucky that I had a surgery scheduled for about a month after this happened. And so when I was explaining my symptoms to the anesthesiologist, he recognized it as a connective tissue disorder. So basically, I have been diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. It means that my body, the collagen of my body, which is like the building block of the connective tissue that like makes everything in your body, hold together. It's soft, stretchy, fragile, which causes a lot of complications. There's 14 types of Ehlers-Danlos, and some of them are have a much higher rate of very dangerous symptoms, like aortic dissect, your heart valve just detaching and you dying instantly. Because like collagen is what holds your organs together. It's what connects your organs to everything else. It what's makes the valves, and it's like what your skin's made of, your ligaments, your everything relies on connective tissue for you to not bleed out or fall apart or just kind of, yeah. So um so it's kind of a little weird. I am hypermobile through most of my joints. None of my ligaments hold my joints firmly in place, which means the larger muscles that are not designed for that are having to compensate, which means a lot of muscle fatigue, muscle spasm, pain, dislocations, spontaneous dislocations. Like my operation was for a breast reduction because I kept having dislocated ribs, and I just thought if I didn't have to wear a bra and I didn't have that weight on my chest, my ribs would stop dislocating, which they dislocate less, so it's awesome. So I had electromyographic studies done, and my cervical spine, the nerve signals are compromised. So something is not letting signals get through. We don't have the equipment in Canada to test to verify cervical cranial instability and Sherry malformation, because you need an upright MRI to make a positive diagnosis in terms of like scans. So you can only go from clinical, like symptomology. And so the best guess, based on my symptoms, is that the ligaments that hold my cervical spine stable, and that keep my skull where it's supposed to be and keep that aperture at the base of the skull closed, or like pulled together kind of thing to keep your brain up there. They're not working so great. So my brain is kind of squishing down through that aperture, causing compression of my brainstem. and it also causes blockage of cerebral spinal fluid, which builds up pressure or like causes a low pressure in your head, depending on like if you're stood up or whatever, which leads to spontaneous CSF leaks, which are horrendously painful. Oh my God, are they painful? And so the compression of the brainstem means that my autonomic functions are compromised. And so that's all of the things that your body does automatically. So on autopilot, your blood pressure, heart rate, sleep cycle, energy storage, food processing, medication processing, so much is on autopilot, and none of that is functioning properly for me. So like I have days where my blood pressure does not register at all in the cuff. It's like 60/40. I have days where my tachycardia is so bad that when I stand up, it's like 185 beats per minute and will not come down. I have fainting spells, dizzy spells, aphasia, cognitive issues. My digestive system just stops, which means none of my medications work. My joints dislocate, become exhausted, especially when I'm spending more time in bed. The more time you spend in bed, the weaker the muscles become, the more easy they are to dislocate, the less you can actually stand up. So I have sort of been living my existence from bed to sofa to chair to mobility scooter to car to mobility scooter to chair to bed, with no real end in sight at the moment. My stomach is currently not tolerating food. It takes most of my day to avoid vomiting. Just stay as still as possible. Hopefully it'll all go well. Which means my meds are not effective and sometimes are really gone haywire because instead of like one dosage hitting me, 2 or 3 dosages hit me all at once, or like one med got vomited up or another didn't, and they needed each other to cancel out side effects. So it's a little scary. But I have a referral to a gastrointestinal specialist, so that hopefully will help, and I'll hopefully get answers to better manage that, which hopefully will mean I will be able to start managing all of the other symptoms. So I'm pretty exhausted most of the time, though sometimes I have good days. Some days my stomach works and my meds are down and I'm like ready to party. Not very often. So that's why I have a cane with me at all times, and I'm often on my mobility scooter. So, yay! That's life for me. Happy New Year!